Hello there. So, have you ever wanted to buy something on eBay, but it's been collection only, and you've lived hundreds of miles away from your item, and you wondered, well, how can I get my hands on this thing that I really want? Well, in this video, I'm going to answer that question. Basically, there's a company called Shipley, and I used it recently to purchase some small coffee tables from somebody that lives about 200 miles away from me. Couldn't find them anywhere else. Desperate for these couple of little tables that this seller was selling for £50. But upon contacting the seller, they wouldn't ship them to me under any circumstances, and they wouldn't even agree to meet me halfway so that we could exchange them. Bit of a pain in the butt. The seller did relent and say, well, if you organise shipping, I will let you buy these tables from me. So I looked for a courier that would ship large, heavy items at a fairly reasonable price, and I came across a company called Shipley. Now, Shipley is a little bit like the sort of confused.com of car insurance, but for shipping. So you put in where your item is at the moment, and you put in your destination, and you put in a description of the item, and actually you can even put the eBay item number, and it will directly pull that information from the eBay listing, and then you kind of send it out into the ether, and you get a number of quotes back for your job. Now, the quotes that come back straight away are quite expensive. So just to give you an idea, they're about 60-inch squares, and they probably cubes even, and they weigh probably 8 kilograms each. So fairly heavy, fairly bulky. But my first quotes came back at about £100. So twice the price of the tables, possibly more expensive than I was willing to pay. But the longer you wait, so I think up to about 24 hours later, I was still getting quotes. The quotes went down as low as £45, which actually is fairly reasonable. It would cost me a lot more than that in petrol or on a train or something to go, and in fact, a damn good job I didn't go on a train. It's a fairly reasonable courier price. So you get all these quotes in, and the more information you provide about your order, the more specific they are with their prices, and then you have to decide which of the companies you're going to go for. So the lower rated they are, generally the kind of cheaper the price. It's difficult to know whether or not they're cheap and that's why they're low rated, or they're low rated and that's why they're cheap. But anyway, you have to kind of find a happy medium between paying £100 for your delivery or £50 for a delivery with somebody who might break your item. I found a relatively new seller that was 100% feedback. I think in the end they charged me £55. There is a little caveat here. If you're going to use this service, don't expect next day delivery, or if you do want next day delivery, it's going to cost you a fortune. It took my tables over a week to arrive. So they were picked up the following week on like a Wednesday, and they were delivered to me the following Sunday. So you have to be prepared to be very flexible with your timing, and that is how you get a cheaper price on there. You pay a small deposit, I think a £5 or £6 deposit, and then when your item is delivered, that is when you pay them. And you can either pay them in cash, by credit card, or PayPal, or whatever. And I paid my bloke by PayPal. He was a very friendly chap, spoke to me by text message so that we could organise the delivery, gave me an exact delivery time, and he was there to within the minute. So yeah, a very successful process. But all in all, what I'm trying to say is that the Shipley service is fantastic. You can read about the delivery drivers by clicking on their profiles on the Shipley website, and you can see what kind of insurance they've got in place for certain items. So, because there's always the possibility that your item will get broken in transport, and you want to be able to claim on your insurance, don't you? So yeah, that option is there for you. But my experience anyway of ordering these tables was very successful, and I would definitely use Shipley again if I needed to order an item that I couldn't or physically wasn't able to collect. Got an email so I'm going to go and read that. Have you used Chipley before? What are your experiences of it? I'll leave a link to them down below. Do subscribe if you enjoy my videos, and I shall see you next time for another one.